Good morning. 2005 was the year my life changed forever. It was the year my husband, Ken, and I, after numerous scans and cognitive tests, sat in a room in the National Neurological Hospital in London and was told that Ken had a form of dementia called Pick's disease. He was 61 years old. My reaction was sheer disbelief. For a start off, what the hell is Pick's disease? I'd never heard of it. I could see the bewilderment on Ken's face. The hospital asked Ken for his consent to be part of a research programme. I remember actively persuading him to take part, as I felt they may discover they'd made a mistake or find a cure and everything can return to normal. We left the hospital looking for the nearest pub. It was here that it hit me. Our lives were going to change, and how totally unprepared and unaccepting I was for the journey neither of us had chosen to take. We'd made such plans for our retirement, to enjoy what we had worked so hard to achieve. For the next 3 years, we returned to the National, and Ken very reluctantly participated in the cognitive tests. His reluctance, I think, due to the fact that each visit identified his inability to answer questions and brought home the reality that things were deteriorating. During one visit, the consultant suggested there was nothing else they could do, and Ken and I would benefit from services nearer home. A referral was made. By this stage, Ken no longer worked. His role as a sheet metal worker and supervisor for British Aerospace had become a distant memory. Hey, not all doom and gloom. I have 30 years of experience in health and social care. I can quote legislation and care standards, so looking after Ken was not going to be a problem. I have the skills and the knowledge. I can cope. Wrong. Nothing could have prepared me for the challenges of becoming a carer for my husband. The changes in our day-to-day lives, the rejection, the challenging behaviour, the tiredness, and forever saying, "I'm so sorry, my husband has dementia," when Ken's behaviour was inappropriate. I was still working as training manager for Warwickshire Primary Care Trust, a career I had worked so hard to achieve. This now had to come to an end, as it was taking me away from the house and Ken for long periods of time. As we were too young to receive pensions, I needed to find a job that fitted in with caring for Ken. I secured employment at a local college as an MVQ assessor in health and social care. It was impossible for me to phone Ken during the day and ask how he was or what he was doing, as he'd lost the ability to speak. I would come home from work and Ken would have demolished the shrubs in the garden and the garden fence, especially the neighbours. Or he'd carry out DIY jobs that required professional input to put right. Things got so bad that in the end I just bought a garden container and locked everything away. When on a bus, shopping or walking to the village, Ken would greet people like his long-lost brother. To counteract this, I would ensure Ken sat by the window on the bus, out of reach of people, or link arms with him when walking, and when people approached, I'd whisper to him, don't touch, just say hello." This probably had a 20% success rate and a look from Ken that said, "Are you ever going to stop nagging?" Ken's condition was deteriorating. He no longer had the ability to communicate, and that is what I miss most. This man, my husband, could always make me laugh. Now I can't remember the last time he spoke my name. Now I look for signs as to how he's feeling, or if he is experiencing pain or discomfort, does he recognise me? Last year, Ken kept falling down, and paramedics were called. We were taken to A&E, and after waiting 2 hours, Ken's increasing distress and behaviour was interpreted as being a nuisance by nursing staff and doctors. Despite me explaining Ken's condition several times, their approach did not change. One doctor even said, "If he's not willing to cooperate, then there's nothing we can do." Security was called, and we were escorted out of A&E and into the car park. I was so upset. We needed help, understanding and compassion, but he was treated like a troublemaker. During all of this time, I continued to care for Ken on my own, some days on autopilot, picking the right moments to administer medication, provide personal care, or help him go to the toilet whilst dodging his fists. Making sure doors were closed so that he couldn't wander off. We eventually became prisoners in our own home. We visited the consultant regularly. Well, I did. Ken always refused to get out of the car on arrival at the hospital. So I met the consultant in the clinic, and then we walked to the car to see Ken. On one of these visits, it was suggested that a community psychiatric nurse and an Admiral nurse be appointed. I'd never heard of an Admiral nurse, so didn't know what to expect. My Admiral nurse's name is Rachel, and I must have been the most frustrating client, as Rachel would inquire how things were, and I would reply, "Fine, absolutely fine." To this day, I don't know why I put up such defences. Was it my way of hiding the fact that with all my knowledge and understanding of care, I should be coping and be seen to be coping, but I knew I wasn't? Rachel saw beyond my defences, and with care and support for me, opened up an avenue where I felt safe to talk and tell my story and express all of my feelings, fears and emotions. She listened, understood and offered advice and coping strategies. She introduced a community support worker and other professionals who helped me get some daytime care. Rachel was the one who supported me when I had to admit I could no longer meet Ken's care needs, and alternative nursing care would have to be found. In 2010, my life changed again. Ken entered nursing care 11 months ago. He's now very settled after what was a difficult start, and I visit him regularly. My role caring for Ken was the most lonely, demanding and traumatic time of my life. My Admiral nurse made such a difference. I could not have got where I am today without her support. I would like all carers who care for a loved one with dementia to have the kind of specialist help of the Admiral nurse or carers, with their knowledge, understanding and sincerity. The journey that carers have to take would not be such a lonely one. Thank you for listening.